What's going on, family? It's your boy, C.O. Jones, a.k.a. the Gator Puppy. Hey, man, and welcome to the Bird Bath. I'm coming on here on the behalf of Simo the C. Mitchell, man, and as you may or may not know, Kyle Pitts, he just got that franchise tag, man, and I hate to say I told you so, but baby, we told you so, baby. Hey, it's a beautiful day in Atlanta because we got Kyle Pitts re-signed, and we're going to get right into it why it's a good thing for us, man. So first and foremost, as I told you guys before, I definitely believe that we were going to use that franchise tag on Kyle Pitts, and we've done it. And it's not a whole lot more that I could really get into, aside from the fact that, I mean, I've been talking about it for the last month and a half, maybe 2 months, about why I think it's a great idea for us to, move forward with that franchise tag with Kyle Pitts. Michael Penix, and regardless of who the quarterback is, they're going to need some weapons out here. Right now, we only have Drake London as our main receiving threat. And Bijan Robinson, depending on how you look at it, he's either the number 2 or number 3 option. Kyle Pitts is the number 2 or 3 option, depending on how they draw up the plays or how they move with things. But I really like this move that we've made right now because Kyle Pitts is undoubtedly one of the top 5 tight ends in the league. Now, I've seen a lot of fans out here complaining, saying that Kyle Pitts is still a liability in the run game, which I believe is a little bit of a strong man fallacy, as you guys seen before, and I'll link it in the description below, and I'll link it in the comments below. But we did a breakdown recently debunking the whole Kyle Pitts can't block thing. Kyle Pitts has actually been a much improved blocker over the last season or so. There's times where you see that they run toward his side and they also run with him in the game. Whereas in previous years past, they would take him out of the game, or they would run away from him in order to be able to get run plays going. And they've actually run to his side as well, like I said, where Bijan's been able to break off big, nice chunk plays. Either Bijan and Tyler Allgeier as well. At this moment, his 16 million or 15 or 16 million per year, 1 year cap space, cap hit is just below TJ Hawkinson and above David Njoku, who a lot of people think incorrectly is better than Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is a guy that just hit All-Pro. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, and he's hit 1,000 yards 1 year and 900 yards another year. And shout out to the homie Trent, who, Falcons, Bird Bath ATL, #1 supporter. He said that your boy David Njoku has never hit 900 yards in his life since he's been in the NFL. And I totally, wholeheartedly agree with him on that. I believe that one thing we know for certain is that Kevin Stefanski likes to utilize the tight end heavily in his offense, which is partially a big reason why David Njoku is a guy who's no longer going to be on the Browns this year, and why we might be looking to actually maybe even sign him as well. Now, I would love to see us also sign David Njoku, but keep Kyle Pitts and be able to maybe utilize some 3 receiver or three tight end sets. A little bit more like 13 personnel, 1 running back, 3 tight ends. Right now, we've utilized a lot of 12 and 11 personnel, which is 1 running back and 2 tight ends, or 1 running back and 1 tight end. And having Kyle Pitts out there, he allows you a lot of versatility in your formations to be able to utilize him out of the slot as well, to be able to go from a big slot, to having 2 tight ends, and back from 2 tight ends to having a big slot. And we saw recently this past season in Harold Fannin's rookie year that Kevin Stefanski liked to use him and David Njoku a lot heavily on the field at the same time. And one of my biggest complaints over the past season was that Zach Robinson, and not only this past season, but the season before that, was that Zach Robinson was not utilizing Kyle Pitts not nearly enough and not nearly in the right ways that he should to be able to get him open. We've even heard former Falcon great Roddy White share those same sentiments. Now, I want to show you guys a little bit of game tape as to why I think that this is going to work very good in Kyle Pitts' favor, and it's also going to open up the offense a lot more for him. If you look at here, David Njoku is right over here. Now, you can't see it on this, but he hits David Njoku right here on the numbers. And we'd like to go forward a little bit. As I was telling you, here goes Harold Fannin. Now, Harold Fannin was a rookie, third round draft pick, and he had 700 and something yards this year in just his rookie year. They moved him all over the formation and, just utilized him as a gadget player. I don't want to say quite a gadget player, but they utilized him kind of like a Swiss Army knife. They even lined him up in the backfield, and I believe that we could see this offense become a little bit more creative under Kevin Stefanski with the way that they utilize Kyle Pitts. Keep in mind that Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, Alex Van Pelt, have all been former tight end coaches in the NFL. And again, Kevin Stefanski just loves to utilize the tight end heavily in his offenses. Now you look at this. Harold Fannin is lined up in the slot right now. They don't even have a true tight end on the field right now. But if we run this play, he's going to get him right over there, turns it to the inside, and brings it right back out on the cut back out. Cuts there, breaks back out. Now, Kyle Pitts isn't the greatest route runner, but he does have pretty solid short area quickness. He's a little bit more of a stridey runner, but he is still a matchup nightmare for a lot of linebackers especially, as well as safeties, and even a matchup problem for cornerbacks as well too, because cornerbacks aren't able to deal with his big body. The guys that can move with him, the guys that can run with him, have a little bit of trouble being able to cover him in a sense where he could body them a little bit more. And the guys that can body him usually don't have the speed that can run with him as well too. Now, I've seen some people also say, and we're going to get to a few more of these plays, I've seen some other people say, including Moose, say that Kyle Pitts, you got to get in the end zone a little bit more if we're going to pay him that type of money. But I don't think that that's going to be a huge issue. I believe that under Kevin Stefanski, we're going to get a little bit more creative in the way we use him, like I said. Now, I want to bring it back to a few more plays. And I'm not going to show a whole lot of these right now. We will do another film breakdown later on in the year, in this offseason, to show you guys some of the plays that we have with Kyle Pitts. And, Harold Fannin, how they use him. Now, Harold Fannin is right here in the backfield. I want to run that back just a little bit. This is where Harold Fannin is, if you can see my cursor on the screen. They use him in motion. Now, this is the type of play that they use Bijan with, but I think that we could also see them do some of this with Kyle Pitts. I believe that they're going to do a lot of duplicable formations and sets, and a lot of duplicable plays out of different personnel moving forward this year. That's what experienced offensive coordinators do, and they give you several different looks and make it hard for you. Now, again, that's a type of play that we would see Bijan Robinson running traditionally out of the backfield, but I think that we can also see them do something like this, very similar with Kyle Pitts. You see Fannin swing around, you got Flacco on the run, and drops a nice little dime to him up the sideline and out of the flats. Here's another play with Fannin. Bam. We got a two tight end set. Essentially, it's a two tight end set. You got your tight end right over here, blocking tight end. And if we don't add another tight end, that's probably going to be our boy Charlie Warner. You got Fannin over here. You can easily see them utilizing Kyle Pitts in the same way. And you see, he just runs basic routes, finds the open space right here, and just sits right down at the first down marker. And those are the type of plays that you want to get with your tight end. I think that far too often they were trying to get Kyle Pitts downfield a lot. Now, he definitely thrives and flourishes in that same matter, but As a tight end, you want to let him get himself into space and bring defenses up on him a little bit more. Get them to wanting to zone off with him. Get them to dictating some of the coverage with them. And then you can go deep with them. And you can also go back and forth from going deep to hitting them with a lot more of the intermediate and short target area stuff. Now, I think that's one of the biggest issues that we had with Kyle Pitts last year and over the past few years is that they weren't giving him a lot of that short area dink and dunk stuff that you want to get tight ends with. A lot of people talk about how he's not a good route runner. Tight ends are not typically great route runners per se. And if you're not getting him involved in the offense, he's going to potentially trail off a little bit. That's what receivers do. And tight ends are pretty much no different. Now, I'm going to show you guys another play. You got Fannin right here lined up as a tight end. And, again, he usurped David Njoku last year, just totally took over the offense in that position. But they ran a lot of two tight end sets with both of those guys. And we'll see. We'll just start it back just a little bit. And that's my bad, guys. We're going to run that back. All right, Fannin right here. It's going to run down just up the seam and a little bit of a corner route. You're going to get the action of Fannin coming straight up the seams and right out here to the side. Just inside the numbers still, but outside the hash marks. And we'll run it back one more time. Mismatch problem right there. Safety, big safety, or a linebacker is covering him right there. And these are a lot of the plays that we're going to see. That's actually their linebacker covering that. And I believe that Kevin Stefanski is going to do his best to be able to get those type of mismatches on Kyle Pitts, trying to create problems with linebackers trying to cover him. There's not very many linebackers in this league that are going to be able to cover him on a consistent basis, if at all. And we'll bring up a few more plays. Another play right here, and I don't want to get hit for some type of copyright infringement with YouTube, but you see that he high points the ball. Now, Kyle Pitts is a bit taller of a receiver than Harold Fannin was. And Harold Fannin is a great talent, but he's not Kyle Pitts. I mean, he could be. Similar production, but not as good as Kyle Pitts overall in terms of the complete upside. Now, this is against the Packers. We're going to run that back one more time. We've got a tight end down here. So essentially, this is like 11 personnel. One running back, one tight end look, three receivers, 1, 2, 3. You got your boy Harold Fannin over here in the slot. And I've been screaming this for the last few years. Utilize Kyle Pitts as a big slot. And they don't do anything major with him. Man, line of scrimmage was right here at the 30. We get him to the 35, right here. I'm sorry, the 25. Down to about just under the 20-yard line. So a little 8-yard route right here. He just sits right down in that zone, and they get the ball to him real quickly. These are the type of plays that I feel like Penix has been missing in his repertoire from your offensive coordinators. By the time they buckle up on that route, it's too late. He's already turned around. Ball's coming right now. Boom. That's all you got to do with Kyle Pitts a lot. Let him get you a lot of those 5- and 7-yard plays. I mean, he's going to take some guys for a run. He's a hard guy to tackle once you get the ball in his hands. I think that we're going to see him utilizing the red zone a lot more as well, too. And we hate the ads by YouTube and Google or whatnot, but I'm gonna go to another play in the red zone as well too, because we know that Kyle Pitts can definitely get deep. We know he can run a lot of those deep routes, and we'll bring this back up on the screen. We want to get him a lot more with the intermediate to short routes. And you got Fannin over here on this side, right here where my cursor is. We've got one receiver, a one receiver look, one running back. It looks to be 3 tight ends in the game right now. I want to see us play a lot more bully ball. And just boom, just that small little arrow route right out to the flats with Harold Fannin. Nothing major. But again, as I said before, you got Tommy Reese where he's going to do a lot more motioning and trying to dictate the different looks in different formations to the defense and how they are able to adjust. And it's going to be a lot harder. And we'll run this back. You'll see the replay from this look right here. You got Fannin right here. You have the other tight end right here. And you got Njoku right here. I think this is a tight end. This might be a fullback right over here. But big boy ball. You got your edge defender trying to guard him right here. He never stood a chance. He doesn't have that quick of a first step to be able to get with him on that. And if that's Kyle Pitts, that's going to be even more of an issue. Now, what we're going to need to do, and this is Shedeur in the game right here, right now, but we're going to have to rely on Kevin Stefanski and Alex Van Pelt to school up Michael Penix a lot more and show him how to get these type of plays right here. A lot of times we've had Kyle Pitts open in the end zone at different points in time. It's got to be frustrating when you're getting open and they're still not looking your way. But I think that we're going to be able to remedy that a lot more this year with Alex Van Pelt out there as the quarterback whisperer to our Michael Penix. And I believe that we're gonna get a lot more out of Michael Penix this year. But just a really simple route. Hits him right there in the end zone. I think we're going to be good for a good 5 of those this season. Again, right over the middle. You got Fannin right over here. Bunched up. Let's see if we can get back just a tad further. Fannin lined up as a true tight end in this formation. 2 tight ends, though. 2 wides, 2 tight ends, 1 running back. And they're not doing anything crazy with him. Just gives him a quick juke to the outside, cuts right back in, a little zig route. And we'll kind of stop it there. But those are the type of plays that I believe we're going to consistently see out of Kyle Pitts moving forward this year. And the type of plays that you're going to have to do to get out of him in order to utilize him to his full 100% capabilities. I'm going to pull up the chat. Shout out to the chat out here. We're going to take a comment or two and see what you guys think about that. You guys let me know in the description what you think about Kyle Pitts, if you like the signing of Kyle Pitts right now, and where you want to see us go in the near future. Your boy's eyes are a little bit bad, but Moo Grant, shout out to you. Sign him long term. He's needed. And that's one thing I do agree with. I wanted to say that. One thing that's good about this franchise tag right now is that this allows us to put ourselves in a position to sign Kyle Pitts to a long-term deal. As long as they come to an agreement on a tender before, I believe it's June 1st or June 3rd, it's somewhere in the first week of June. They still can come to terms with a long-term deal for him, which is the most ideal thing that we could do moving forward. Now, there is a chance that we make him play out this year on a franchise deal and, make him prove it again. That's only going to drive the price up a little bit more. And I think that with a player like Kyle Pitts, that could maybe have more of an adverse effect where he might take that as disrespect. He might not be as motivated. Or even if he plays heavy, if he plays hard, he might still find a way to abandon his post later on in the season. Maybe start loafing, taking plays off. That's something that has been a concern with him from a lot of fans. I think it's a little bit overblown. I think that this whole year he gave really good effort, but you never know with it moving forward. He also, if he was forced to sign another free agency, if he was forced after this season to go with another franchise tag, we could see him, I'm sure, sitting out and playing chicken with the Falcons. But right now, we've got a lot of cap space that is freed up, relatively, considering they're able to restructure some contracts and restructure a few more things in order to pay Kyle Pitts and still be able to bring in a little bit more talent that we need in the off-season. But Shout out to you, Moo Grant. Again, definitely totally agree with you. If we can get a long-term deal going with him, I love it. I think that that's the way we need to be going moving forward. Also, I want you guys to keep in mind, Tyler Allgeier is another free agent that we could potentially be losing right now. And just over the weekend, Javonte Williams was given a 3-year, $24 million contract, $16 million of it which was guaranteed by the Dallas Cowboys. Now, with that being said, I believe that that is very telling of the market for someone like Tyler Allgeier. I don't believe that Tyler Allgeier is necessarily better than Javonte Williams. He's been more durable, but if he sees himself as a starter and Javonte Williams is only able to get $8 million per year, I don't think I see Tyler Allgeier getting much more than maybe $4 or $5 million per year. And I can see him maybe going somewhere else and really balling out. There may be other teams that are like, hey, we really believe in this guy and we want to give him a start. But I think that that's going to be very telling of how the market values running backs right now, at least someone like a Tyler Allgeier at the moment. But I think it's still kind of a up in the air thing. But I believe that he's going to want to come from underneath Bijan Robinson's shadow, just to be honest with you. Now, if the money isn't right, I wouldn't be surprised if they did not re-sign Tyler Allgeier, or if he didn't re-sign here in Atlanta. I believe he wants to get paid, and I also believe he just wants to win. And nobody wants to go from a mediocre situation in terms of the games that we've won and almost being on the precipice to going to NFL Siberia. Nobody wants to do that and go to, say, the Browns or to another organization where they have even less consistency, and where it's a little bit more of a laughing stock for you. So that being said, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the rest of this offseason. I definitely believe that, I could see Tyler Allgeier leaving, but I could also see him staying here in Atlanta as well, too, and being able to be utilized as that 1-2 punch with Bijan Robinson. Keep your legs a little bit fresher. Now, he might not get the type of money that he wants long-term if he doesn't strike while the iron's hot, and for that reason alone, I probably would go if I was him, if everything else was clear and I wasn't overselling myself on what I could do. But I like our chances moving forward, man. It's going to be a really interesting offseason. The beginning of free agency is basically started right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Allgeier is gone. I'm not going to hold my breath for that. But again, I think there are a few other running backs out here who probably are a little bit better than Tyler Allgeier, and they're going to command even more money than Tyler Allgeier would command on the open market. There's no guarantee of what he's going to be able to command or what he's looking for right now. I think that both the Falcons and he himself are very open to whatever falls into their lap or whatever scenario that they could kind of just work with real quick. So you guys stay tuned. I will be continuously hitting you guys with thoughts on more free agency signings. The NFL Combine is coming up right now. We do have legal tampering right around the corner where teams can kind of talk to players behind the back, or at least behind the scenes, or at least be able to talk to agents behind the scenes. And again, this is the hype train time of year. I believe that the Falcons have a really good chance of really shoring up this defense and this offense, especially in the trenches. Ian Cunningham talked a lot about wanting to really solidify the trenches a lot more. I don't think that we're in dire need of an offensive lineman right this second, but it'd be great to be able to get somebody in here who we could groom up a little bit to take over when Jake Matthews and Caleb McGarry on their way out the door. And of course, we're going to need a little bit more pass rush. And we already were in need of a run stuffer, but we're going to need a little bit more pass rush, considering James Pierce Jr. is right now preoccupied and he might miss a good 5 or 6 games this season, even if he's let off, just because he made the NFL look bad, and they don't take very kindly to that. But stay tuned. Like I said, I will continuously hit you guys with as many updates as possible, and we're going to try to keep dropping these gems for you and dropping this content for you on a weekly basis. On a daily basis, as close to as possible as we can get. But mob up in the comments below. Tell me what you think about the the signing of Kyle Pitts. Tell me if you think that we're going to be able to get Tyler Allgeier back as well. And let me know any free agents or any moves that you'd like to see the Falcons have in the offseason coming up. I think that this is a really prime time of year for us to be able to change the team a lot more. And of course, we're bidding with everybody, but Atlanta is definitely a hot destination for a lot of players in the league. So it'll be interesting to see what teams do moving forward. It's your boy C-Mo, the C Mitchell, checking out for Bird Bath ATL and Point Game Official.